Hello everyone. Welcome back to RevUp with AR Pro. All of you know AR Pro is the world's largest network of professionals from the auto industry. And RevUp is an initiative by AR Pro to bring the spotlight on veterans from the auto industry. RevUp lets you connect with them and understand their growth story, the secrets behind their success, and what led them to the position that they are in today. Before we go further, first thing I want you to do now is immediately go down and click the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notified about all the future videos that comes up on ProTube with AR Pro. Every Sunday at 11 a.m., we have a brand new guest from the auto industry who shares his life experience with us. This is an opportunity for you to connect with them and not only that, ask your questions to get it answered by them. So this week, we have yet another interesting guest. We have with us Pro Munirathinam Dhananjayan, who has also had a very humble beginning of his career. In fact, his father was a van driver in a small town in Tamil Nadu. But the best things his parents did was give him great education. So after his education, how his career started and how he has grown today to be a global entrepreneur is what we'll come to know today. As on today, Pro Dhananjayan is MD of Focus Technologies LLC in Dubai and also has a branch in India. So are you all ready to get to know the story of Pro Dhananjayan? Let's meet Pro Dhananjayan. So welcome Pro Dhananjayan, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Srikanth. Good morning to one and all, and I'm really happy to be a part of this activity that is being initiated by Srikanth. Congratulations! It's a very good initiative to spread the story of hope and also bring in a lot of energy among the youngsters. And I'm sure with the complete situation currently, which is not really so great, but this COVID times has really also made a kind of a slowdown, reflect back, and also people can spend a lot of time with their families, and basic values have been inculcated. So my name is Munirathinam Dhananjayan, shortly DJ in the auto industry. I come from a small town called Gudiyatham, and further, as Srikanth said, my father was a driver, and I'm very proud of it because he inculcated me the principles of honesty, hard work, and always the drive to move forward in life. My friends, education is one of the strongest pillars which can change anyone's life. So there goes my story also pursuing my mechanical engineering from Sairam Engineering College, Chennai. So it all started when I came from a small town to Chennai. That was my first trip to Chennai, and you all know how kind of scenarios would be and what kind of a mindset. Always, two things are very, very important in life. One is a mindset. You need to really look at what is that you want to really achieve. Once that mindset is there, your vision has to be set for a different direction. Coming to Chennai, getting into engineering, as every passionate student, I was always looking to grow up and learn something new. There comes my Professor Ramakrishnan, who just gave the number of Dr. B.S. Murthy, who was an IIT professor, and he was 80 years old and so energetic. My professor gave his number, and for 6 weeks, I was thinking how to call him, when to call him, what to ask, and it was complete challenge is my English was not so great. So I finally decided I will talk in the local language, explain myself, and then there comes the whole story of journey into automotive. I was introduced to Society of Automotive Engineers as a young student, as a student member, and from where my automotive journey started all along. I participated in a lot of automotive conferences from those days, which helped me to interact with the industry. And during this journey, I was able to really understand the difference between what is the latest technologies, what is the base engineering topics, and also what is the different side of the retail industry. My retail experience, because there are two things. One is a wholesale, where it's like more of a OEM or a company that is selling the products. The second thing is the dealership related business, which is completely where you really see the customers in place. My complete journey of deciding to be into automobiles all started with an internship in Chennai way back in 1999. So that is the time that I generated a lot of interest into the field of after sales business and then also the customer satisfaction activity. So my first job was as a technical trainer in Chennai with Maruti Suzuki Technical Training Department. And from there on, I moved into Maruti Center for Excellence, in which I was exposed to a lot of topics on total quality management, Deming Award, and also the opportunity to develop service quality standards. I had the opportunity to work under Dr. K. Kumar, advisor engineering, and who was also responsible of setting up the CSI standards for the country. A very learned boss who was always passionate about learning new things even at the age of 70 plus those years. So my initial stint of 1 year in the technical training department in Chennai and then subsequently for 5 years in Maruti Suzuki engineering plant, because the main service department and also the quality center for excellence was also based out of the plant. The initial years, I put a lot of efforts and learnings on the ground, what we call in Japanese term called 3G. Gemba, Gembu, Gembuchi. Go to the place, look at the action problem, and take realistic actions. By following this very strongly, I always had the opportunity to learn from different bosses and also successfully be part of one of the Deming Award companies, Krishna Maruti Limited, those days. So, as life goes on, as a person who has come from a humble background, in Tamil they call it as Taylor. That means the search. The search in me did not stop from looking for a good job, learning something new, and I wanted to either move to a different department or completely change my whole journey. After 6 years of working, I decided that I would take up a small break out of automotive business and move completely, entirely from automotive into construction, ready-mix, hospitality, and becoming a group consultant for a group called SS Lutha in Dubai. That is where my international stint started. And then from there, I did not stop. I wanted to learn something more. I moved into shipbuilding. And from shipbuilding for a year and a half, then I moved into venturing on my own business as a partnership with someone. And that was into lift installation. So from an automobile to a construction to a ready-mix and different process things really gave me a lot of knowledge. And then it was really a time to come back. And I again, after a span of 3.5 years, again re-entered the automotive business. Now, 9 years of employment, and in the 10th year, I moved into my own venture, which I said onto the lift business as a joint venture. That was my first stint of moving from an employee to an employer. So primarily, it's more of a, if you look at Rich Dad Poor Dad book, it clearly tells about 4 quadrants. I am actually following exactly the 4 quadrant method, from being employed to self-employed, from self-employed to a small businessman, and maybe in 10 years from now, I will be an investor. So, believe me, once you're in the search of something, the whole universe is towards you. And in the whole journey, it is not easy as we think. There was a lot of struggles and a lot of fears in mind. Whether should I move on to take up from being an employee where you have a very good salary, you have everything comfortably set. I generally call it as, in jokingly call it a 2 punch, 1 lunch life. You go punch, lunch and punch, and completely your life is taken care. And as you progress, you also really, kind of learn a lot of things. And I would say even an employment is as more bigger than an entrepreneur. Because there are a lot of people who have really progressed in the employment as well. Now, moving on, the first breakthrough came into India in 2010 when we started. And many people say the success stories only need to be spoken. My interest, I would say, more than the success story, we also have to learn and we need to reflect back and see what all went wrong.
Exactly,
Many
that's
people
something very
think,
important. Yeah.
sorry.
So, in fact, many of us have heard of a lot of success stories, but we don't know the struggle that has gone behind it. Before we go further, first thing I want you to do now is immediately go down and click the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notified about all the future videos that comes up on ProTube with AR Pro. There is a lot of hard work, a lot of innovation, a lot of struggle that has gone into every business or anybody who has started a startup. So of course it would be great to know what are the kind of struggles that you had as an initial startup when you started.
So one of the biggest struggle is to convince your family of this journey of moving from kind of a full-time employment to be self-employed. So that is the first and foremost struggle, or that is, I would say, that is the first milestone you need to achieve before you move on into your thing, because the support from the family is very important. I was so lucky that I could get a lot of support from my family. And second major factor is the fear in the mind. So probably each and everyone will think, even we do a business plan. Business plan, we put all the numbers on an Excel sheet. It really looks good, but when it goes to the execution is where the exact reality of the business comes in place. So coming to the story, I had a lot of failures in the beginning. Almost I had 5 to 6 ventures that I initially started. I had to undergo a complete thing, loss, or completely not succeed in those business areas. So sometimes what we think is, if a business is successful in a country, you can replicate the same thing into the other market and it will succeed. So first of all, the learning is, yes, it will succeed, but unless otherwise you don't understand the local dynamics, it will not really take off. And the second lesson that I learned in the whole process is proper planning and meticulous execution is very, very important. So some of the times what happens is you properly plan, but execution is weak. So that is the second lesson I learned during those days. Third thing is, people start spending money even before the returns come. So complete financial management is the third lesson that I learned from the in the failures. The fourth failure I really learned about is fundamentally you need to touch a business if you have a complete thorough knowledge onto the business. So I had ventured into an MEP company, I had ventured into a construction company, I ventured into an IT company, I ventured into an agarbatti manufacturing, a semi-automatic agarbatti manufacturing process company. And believe me, all this had real good learning for me. And from there on, my first breakthrough came into the consulting and training and mentoring business. So we are Focus Engineering is a consulting company which works with a lot of OEMs, the top brands in the country and also worldwide. We also have been training across South Asia, Middle East, Africa in the last 3 years for one of the best brands. Now, this all has been possible only with one thing: not giving up. My friends, we are a 10 years old company. We have been in the business year on year. We have seen a lot of changes that comes into the market, but our vision and mission never changed. We always said we will go forward and succeed. So the message I wanted to share with all of you here is, believe in you. When you're starting a business or when you're starting anything, like said, first approval comes from your family. Second thing, you need to have good friends who could motivate you. So luckily I had good friends who really gave me the courage. Yes, go for it. You can succeed. So The second thing, having a good friend. So I had friends who initially supported me in the beginning years, made this whole transition happen, and always it is not the positive side of the coin. There is always struggle that will make you or reach that end saying that you need to give up. So we had scenarios where even we had a lot of times having the thought like, this is not my cup of tea, I need to give up. So whenever you are in trouble, whenever you are stuck, I do this, have a good food, have a good sleep, and then think the next day morning. That's the way to eliminate stress. And believe me, while you're really going on this journey, there might be a lot of good well-wishers who can give you a lot of inputs. But you, as an individual, has to think what you need. So, way back in 2005, I have clearly made a life calendar for myself, which clearly gives direction like what I need to do at each point of my career. And as I told you, the four quadrants is what is the direction I would recommend employee to self-employed to businessman and investor. And for anything and everything, you need time. Today, what biggest challenge with most of the entrepreneurs is they see a lot of success stories and then they follow it. It is very good to follow the positive stories, but also understand those people also has put a lot of hours of work. So coming back, I generally use this thing that a technician's commitment and work effort is somewhere 8 to 10 hours. A supervisor's effort is between 10 to 12 hours. A manager's effort is between 12 to 14 hours. The general manager or a dealer principal or anyone, not a dealer principal, general manager or a business head might be the effort is for 20 hours or 18 hours. The one guy who is always thinking around his business 24 by 7 is the investors because he has a big shoulder on his he has big responsibilities on his shoulder to take care of all these people and their families who are working for them. And I sincerely appreciate and congratulate many of the dealer owners in the country and also manufacturing companies and also the rest of the other people who are really not giving up on their employees and taking care during this COVID times. Now, Shrikant, coming back, how do we really make our career the best? So, work quality is the only enabler for anyone to progress in their career. And many people stuck in the same job or the same profile for a long time. So it used to be a practice in one of the Japanese company that every 3 years they will rotate their person to the next department. So if a guy is in say sales, he'll go into after sales for 3 years, and from after sales for after 3 years he'll go into quality, and then he'll come back to the other department. So likewise, for many people, the biggest challenge is, sir, should I go into a production department? Should I go into a manufacturing department? Should I be into sales? Should I be into marketing? Should I do an MBA after engineering? Should I, should I get myself approved and accredited by something else? These are all the questions that keeps on coming to people time to time. So my only thing is, as an individual, you know your strength and weakness. You know where is your major interest lies in. Follow that as a core thing. Maybe at the initial years, those jobs might not pay you a very big salary, but in the long run, that would be making you stronger, and also that eventually helps you, become an entrepreneur as well. So, in the retail business, I have seen people who have been a storekeeper, who have been a kind of a sales counter person, starting business, and one of the guy I can tell you an example is the guest house that I used to stay in Delhi. The guy used to be a friend of his guy. Today is a owner of three guest house and is serving the people. So he learned for hard 10 years working as a friend of his guy, but now today is last 8 years an entrepreneur. So Shrikant, the biggest thing people have to realize and think over is this time also will pass by. And the second strongest, I would say the tool that I always use is bounce back. You will have challenges in your workplace. You will have challenges from your colleagues. You will have challenges from your competitor. You will have challenges because of this current COVID situation. Don't lose hope. Things will change. Things will come for better. So my stories all started from I say is like Gudiyatam to Gurgaon, and then Delhi to Dubai, Dubai to Detroit, and back from Detroit to Dubai, and Dubai to
That's
Gurgaon. So for the last 8 years, I've been back in India, and I've been operating from my hometown Gudiyatam because I wanted to set an example for people. The place is not important; how you work is more important. So I have been in my town, and then from there I've been operating because today it's a global village. People say it's a global village. You can work, you're connected virtually every time. And most important thing is keep on enhancing your knowledge. So, for example, in my initial years, I was exposed to Six Sigma, I was exposed to lean manufacturing, I was exposed to Deming Award, then I was also exposed to the retail standard business, and most importantly, my boss ensured that I spend a lot of time on the shop floor, a lot of time on the dealer workshops. So my suggestion or based on my experience, I would say if you want to become an expert in any field, spend your hands on that particular field. So be it design, be it manufacturing, be it service, be it sales and marketing. In fact, if you want to be a good salesman, just be in the market, not in your showroom.
That's something very important. Very important. In fact, this is something that we've been discussing in earlier versions also. That you know, it is a lot of people have this opinion that we need to move on from a dealership level to an OEM level to be successful. No, so you can be anywhere. You can be an OEM or you could be in a dealership, but whatever it is, as long as you're excelling in that field that you're working in, you can gradually grow up, and of course, you'll be very successful full in a life. One day. Now that's something really important. That's amazing to know, Pro. So in fact, something really interesting I would like to know from you is, of course, when we talk about entrepreneurs are people who are very self-motivated. They don't need, they say no, they don't need an external motivation. But still, there is something internal, something inside us that always keeps us motivated. So what has been your motivation to keep going every day in spite of whatever struggle that comes?
Okay, so first motivation is my dad and mom who had no education and then gave us a very good education, not only for me and my sisters. So the first and foremost motivation comes from there. The second motivation is when I traveled the way from Gudiyatam to Chennai to Gurgaon. In this whole journey in my professional life, there was a lot of people who helped me. So I had a lot of bridges which I traveled in the journey. And from Delhi again to Dubai was also another journey that I did. So in this whole 8 to 9 years, I could really understand there was someone who really helped me, motivated me, and then took me to the next level. So I keep a positive motivation saying that I need to give back, I need to help others. So there is one mission which is on my mind every time, and this just comes out of my mind saying that I should never give up. So my mission in life is help a million people to transform their lives, both professionally and financially, and also personally from the situation what they are. So that is the drive that keeps me motivated every day. That I should not give up. And coming from a small town to this global place also has been a lot of excitement, lot of anxiety, lot of fear in mind, and also a lot of struggle. So it was not a easy situation where it really transformed just like that. So lot of effort, lot of meeting people, lot of knowledge enhancement, and also struggles. When many people put a hurdle, how do you get over that hurdle and then coming into this journey also? My motivation has been my family. My motivation is there's one mission that I set for myself. and giving back is something you are not motivating them. In fact, while doing all these activities, they are motivating us. So, for example, we have transformed a tribal school in Elagiri. It's a government tribal school. So, this school was primarily initiated by my professor, Dr. T.R. Jagdishan. And one day he just called me and said, DJ, I am handing the school to you to take the next step because he's getting old and he's 80 years plus. So that's where in 2015 we took over the school, and then we had done a lot of transformation. And 70 students have won the state level competition last year. The record of the school has never even crossed a district or a zonal sports competition. So also on the academic side, we had also brought in a pass percentage from 80% to 96%, 100%
Wow.
in standard 12. And in standard 10th, even this year we achieved 100%. So for the last 3 years consequently, 100% pass percentage. So why I'm saying is this doesn't need a lot of time and money. It's about you spending on the weekends. You're spending like average around 1 day in a month in the school, talking to them, giving them that hope, bringing a lot of friends who comes from abroad or who is in Chennai, or someone coming from Bangalore towards Chennai, ensuring that they go to that school. Spend 1 hour. The 1 hour time in a year is a big thing that you can contribute. And my drive and motivation I get from this CSR activities, where even in our hometown we have connected all the youths, close to around 6,000 youths, on a green Gudiyatham Green Town initiative. So my fundamental motivation is I set the process and then move on. That's one of the things. So I transfer the button to someone else who could sustain it and take it forward. So even one of the business failures I told you about, agarbatti manufacturing. So there's a place called Bangarpet. I think you're aware of it, which is close to Bangalore.
Yes.
So there used to be a company called Venkat Industries, the third generation business people. So Venkat was in his 35. I'm talking about way back in 2010. And so the agarbatti manufacturing was all manual manufacturing and a lot of health issues and things. So in collaboration with ITC, we initiated this process of developing a semi-auto machine. So primarily we used the reverse engineering and also all the engineering skills to develop a semi machine. So basically a tailoring machine and funnel, and then get onto this and you pedal it with the pedal power. You can get manufacture twice the outcome of doing it manually. So that project, though as a business we failed, but that project today is helping in more than 100 villages in and around Karnataka. And this is something we are very proud of. It is we have initiated this, and this has given lives to many people. So the motivation and energy is something you can either get in from within yourself. So people say I have a lot of energy and a lot of I keep moving up, but at times I also lose my energy, negativity. So one of the things to regain strength and energy is I talk to my family and I talk to my friends. That is giving me the strength to move forward. So answering to you, Srikanth, each and everyone can have their own formula. Someone would have a friend, or someone would have a own family members, or someone would seek support from the professional help as well. Please believe in you. That is the most strongest motivation for anyone. If that is lost, everything is lost.
Perfect. So that sounds really amazing. In fact, family is always a super strength that we have with us. So, of course, it's the same with a lot of us, I guess. Okay. Now, moving on to the next part, I would like to understand something. Now, you have been into business for almost 10 years now, and you have done varied types of businesses, and I am sure each business that you has given you a lot of new learnings that could actually help you in your present business to be successful. So now, for people to understand, what business are you into exactly right now?
Okay, so primarily we are into consulting, training, coaching, and after sales digital solutions. So we have brought in one of the best solutions for India in the last 2 years. And we work with a lot of OEMs directly and also through subcontracting mechanisms. We also work with the dealer partners and also under the Make in India project. So India, we are primarily more focused on auto, retail, and manufacturing business. And the new introduction since last year is into a personal video communication tool, which is from UK. And this is one of the best tools that we would now, release the complete information in maybe next month. So this is going to revolutionize the customer journey in the auto industry. And in Middle East, we are into auto and non-auto business functions, and we are working with the who's of the world. And it is really a kind of a work that we are doing is we are also innovating something new. So we have an innovation team which is primarily working continuously to innovate the process and also the product.
Okay. Okay. So that sounds really exciting. In fact, seems like something new that you're developing for the Indian market as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
What are your future plans of growth in your company?
So our future plans currently we are a 16 people company in India. So we would like to move to a 100 people company by 2022. And as far as Middle East is concerned, we are a small team right now with 5 people. So we would like to move to 50 plus 50 people by 2022 because 2020 is out of the calendar for everyone. So every plan that has been planned initially has to be shifted. And we are also launching a kind of a new initiative in our own hometown in terms of helping the people in need. So primarily a kind of a career guidance center. Also, we would initiate a mentor-mentee model, wherein which we would kind of handle and also help people. So one of the new initiatives that I have started on my birthday is a kind of a Mission 50,000. So the idea is to reach out to the students and the automotive professionals and sharing the story of hope. And out of this 50,000 people, I just said 50,000 as a target so that in 50,000, even 1% aspires to become an entrepreneur. That would be a great need for the country. So the topic is awareness on entrepreneurship and innovation. So this is the topic that I've been talking to a lot of students and professionals so far. I have reached 1,170 students and professionals in the last 2 months. So now talking to you is also part of the same journey. And thank you, Srikanth, being taking this forward. So my I always keep like 2-3 themes as my goals. First theme is to build focus engineering India and focus technologies to employ more people. Second is to create a platform of entrepreneurship and innovation. So we have already spoken to my college, Sai Ram Engineering College, to set up Sai Focus Innovation Cell, and also Raja Rajeshwari College in Chennai, and they also have a college in Bangalore. So with them also we are setting up a kind of innovation cell. So it is also part of the sustainable development goals, wherein which entrepreneurship and innovation are two of those sustainable goals that has been focused by the country as well. And these two things are really important as a country and also as a society. So my primary belief is if an individual change, the change will impact the family. That means if there is a growth of an individual, that means the whole family will grow. If the family in the small town or a small village grows, then that particular village will grow. If the village will grow, then the next level of state and the district will grow, and eventually the country will be on its prime growth. So I had opportunity to to travel to many countries, including USA, UK, Korea, China, Japan, and almost most of the countries I could list down. And all these countries also gave a lot of awareness and clarity of life. And what is really missing for our country is to build more entrepreneurs and more innovation. So I'm very confident that this awareness will go into an implementation phase. So where in the implementation phase, we will support around 25 teams. And from the 25 teams, we will select the top five teams to fund them and build on their business model. So this is, you can say, it's kind of a business need, and also it's a social need. So that's how we have our future goals. The third thing is continue my CSR activities. So primarily, I would develop more on e-learning modules, and we are part of a group called ALEAT, a literacy initiative group. So this group is formed by 10 people way back in 2010, and this group is doing extraordinary fabulous job. And I'm very happy that I could get in touch as one of our clients, business head Rajesh Barnavas, introduced to the team and his friends. And last 2 years, I'm very happy to be part of it. They are doing an excellent job in Jamshedpur, Bihar, Lucknow, and different parts, educating the government schools through digital campaigns. They have got almost 1 million people fed in the COVID times. So now one of our interests is to connect the kids in the north and the kids in the south of Elagiri, doing coding, learning new things on the topics, and learning life skills as a primary drive. So these are my three future goals, wherein which now, as I told you, employee to a self-employed to a small businessman. So this next 10 years is primarily to build new businesses and sustain it. So let's hope for the best, and that's the way forward I'm looking.
That's interesting. In fact, it is really great to know the kind of CSR activities that you're involved into, and of course, because we always believe that it's always when you grow, it's something very important to give back to the society also, and we don't grow in. That's really amazing. Thank you for sharing. So coming forward to the next part, I would like to understand. Since you said you would love to promote a lot of entrepreneurs in the industry. Can you recall one of your toughest challenge that you had faced during entrepreneurship journey, and how you had overcome it? It would be great to know.
Uh, Someone who have been motivated and become an entrepreneur, or what is the question? Can you repeat it?
No, my question is, so I'm sure you would have faced a lot of challenges during your no, COVID is just one of them. So if you could recall one of an instance of one of the biggest challenges that you had faced and how you overcame it, that would be great to know.
Okay, so challenges is in different ways in terms of even to the extent to stopping your own business and stopping your own full motivation also. So how did I come overcome that is patience. First is patience and perseverance. So some of the time there is a lot of miscommunication that also happens among your business environment and things. So the I always follow the PDCA formula, which is again from a Japanese thing, plan, do, check, act. So for any problem, you need to also list down what are the things that are pros and cons, and then take it to the next level. So the best thing is, uh, I had a challenge of not getting payment from one of the clients. So that is also a kind of big challenge. And after serving them and giving a lot of service for a long time, but still they were not willing to pay because fundamentally they did not understand the whole project's scope. So I need to really go in person and then tell them that this is how it is, and made them to see the real value into the whole activity. Suppose that we were able to get some payments. So that is one related to a financial challenge perspective. The second challenge or the thing is, so as you're growing as an entrepreneur, you always tend to think that we can deliver a project, but while we are delivering the project, you also come with other challenges which is unexpected. So I also had the same challenge, in one of our projects, where in which there was an unexpected challenge, and it led to a big loss as well. So recovering loss is also not possible. But in that one particular thing, we really learned is ensuring that you also have in-house talents. So manpower management is also one of the key success in our entrepreneurship business. So you as an individual transforming and getting the people on board, and eventually you expect the guys coming from a very, very high reputed organization, and is also coming with a lot of experience. Believe me, you need to always look at the right skill set for the right job. So that was one of the biggest challenges. So where we would, in 2016, 17, 18, would have lost a big client, but since we had a good, good framework for implementation, we were able to get back and continue the business. So answering to your questions, when any problem comes, just think back, relax, discuss with your team, because sometimes even the smallest guy in your team can give good idea. So my challenges have always been discussed with the team, and it is always a collective decision. And one of the major important thing is really is there will be people in the market who will not be happy that you grow. So you should also face those guys, and then you should go. I mean, fundamentally, your success is your work, your hard work, and in this whole journey, ensure that your relationship management is very strong. Money will come, project will come, and relationship is something. It's like a glass. So ensure to build the relationship, and I'm sure you will be able to do well. And more important thing is your continuous search. I come back to the same word, here, search. You will get the results.
That's fantastic. So now, how do you keep your team motivated? Because with this present situation, there is a lot of negativity going around. But of course, especially when you have a big challenge because you are traveling between two places, you have a business in two countries. So how do you ensure that your team is motivated even when you're not there?
So we have a, structural process for discussing with the team. So we had always have a flexible method. And one of the thing I personally look at is a one-to-one chat with the individual. Along with, I mean, one is you need to have a group meeting, and more important is also one-to-one. So I have also faced challenges with this problem, and one of the employees said, DJ, okay, good, it's happy working with you. We have good projects and all, but sometimes we feel lost with the motivation. So I would say we still have not come to a foolproof situation. We are also working on it. So I personally feel to keep your team motivated, and especially during this COVID times, is have a dialogical communication, ensure the health is okay, give them the confidence that your job is not going to go. And even if there is a kind of thing which we had adapted into a thing is a kind of a model that's saying that currently we might pay you a fixed percentage of salary. Whatever is balance, we would pay it once the market recovers. So that confidence is inculcated in the employees. So employees are the fundamental pillars of any business success. You take any company, if employees are part and parcel of the integrity of the business, that business is always going to take it. A lot of good companies like Saravana Stores in Chennai or take any brand, they all have grown. Like I would strongly believe that your team is your identity. Your business success is based on your team. So build and invest on your team. That will, give you the outcome, as they say. Because as individual entrepreneur, okay, when I was self-employed, I was one guy, individual guy, doing all the work. The delivery of quality is exactly what the client needs. But it will not be the same when you have more people coming on team and doing the same job. So process-oriented and fundamental driver people orientation is very, very important. Talk to the guys. Ask them. We negotiate in terms of what is that as a company you can deliver and not. Make it clear, and I'm sure that would solve a lot of issues. Because today is during this pandemic, everyone are in panic. And many of the business owners and many of the business small-time people have also been affected because the revenue loss is also there in a big way. Sales are not happening. So it's a spiral effect. The spiral effect, it goes on and on because if the travel is not happening, hotel industries are not there. If the hotel is not there, then it comes to the F&B. And people are not moving outside. So it has a spiral effect on every business. And the market will bounce back. That's my hope. The market will really bounce back. And people who have lost jobs, use this time to upskill yourself. There are a lot of programs on Coursera and a lot of other programs offering from different and pursue what you really like. For example, if you're not done something that you have been thinking to do, this is the right time. And for entrepreneurship, this is the right time because the cost of your mistakes are not going to be very high, right? So that you don't lose the opportunity. So whatever you try to do, this is the right time to build on it because you have a cool-off period, you have a time that gives you less movement across the country because of the current thing. And most importantly, taking care of their personal health is very important during this pandemic time. I only pray for many people who are no more, due to sudden cardiac arrest or, due to COVID or some other situation. My prayers goes with them. And believe me, keep yourself in good health. And mental health is very, very important. And don't lose hope. Because there will be financial challenges, there will be professional challenges, there will be challenges that you might not get your salaries for a few months, but you can overcome it. The world is not going to end today. There is a better world coming for the future. And people say new normal and other things, but people will come back to the normal. So I see in Dubai, fundamentally, if you're in a room, like for example, I'm in my room, I don't need to wear a mask. But if there is one more guy, we need to wear a mask. So very stringent rules and regulations are really helping to overcome COVID. And I see the business normal here in Dubai. So my travel from India last month, 23rd of July, I traveled from India. And the whole travel was entirely kind of fear in mind and also a new experience. So I would say, let's face what comes our way. Because that is the only way we can really move forward. Otherwise, there's no other option. Do you have any other options, Srikanth? Just what it is. And then, work on your methods. Because we had a lot of plans for April, May, June, July. 4 months is gone. Still we were at home. We had, life. So live your life and I'm sure, things will fall in place. We need to know what is enough and where we need to really be happy. Today people have been running behind for a lot of things. Even my life used to be hectic, like flying every week, at least 5 times a week. So out of my 365 days, I would have been on the road for 250 days. Today, in the last 4.5 months, I was at home, very happy, spending time with family, then virtual meetings and things. So I think it's a blessing. This time is a blessing because in India we always don't give leave to work and we always continuously work. Think of a farmer. A farmer works for 4 or 5 months, harvest, everything is done. Then he waits for the right time to again, sow the seeds and wait for the harvest. So in a 12 months time, a farmer eventually works very hard for 5 months. Then he does a preparation for 2 3 months. Then monsoon and other things stops the work. So I strongly look at that way. It's like just a 4 5 months of relaxing time. Or from a European mindset, people have planned holidays. So even people used to go out of work for 1 year and then start re-working again. So I use this pandemic situation in such a way that it's a planning and preparation time. I'm sure it is important. And most important thing I think many people would have learned by this time is having a saving habit in place. Ensure that 10 to 20% of your money is being saved for critical moments. So I have a chartered accountant friend who gave me this formula when I started the business. He said, DJ, ensure that you have cash positive for 12 months to run your family even without having a single rupee income. So that one model that I don't know, people give advices, whether you follow it or not is your choice. I followed his advice for 12 months. I could do. Then after a few years, he said, DJ, it's not going to be 12 months, it's going to be 18 months. I said, okay, let me do the 18 months. So you know your necessity because some people would have different expectations in life, different way of living life. So please plan your monthly expenses. Ensure that for your family and you are able to take care of themselves for 12 to 18 months without even if you don't have a job. So, Chikan, my strong formula for life is like have a proper financial management and also a balance between your work and your personal life. So these two are very, very important. In this journey of entrepreneurship, I also had sacrificed a lot of time of my personal time and things, but eventually this COVID time has given me time to sit back, enjoy my coffee with my parents, and I would say this is reflect. It has given back us to rethink: is it the right way we want to work? Is it the right project we want to be in? And it really brought in a lot of clarity in life. So, guys, from a professional advice side, is continuous learning is the only key to success. The day you stop learning, your growth is also stopped. My boss in Maruti used to say, the more you learn, the more you earn. The more you learn, the more you earn. The more you blame, the more you became lame. The more you blame, the more you become lame. That means if you blame, you become a lame. That means you keep on saying, that guy is wrong, this guy is wrong. And one of the strongest proverbs that I still keep remembering is serious, sincere, systematic thinking and approach secures supreme success. This used to be a writing of my English teacher when I was in standard 11 and 12, and it used to be on our board in the school. And this is something which just clearly got into my mind. My work is my identity. My work is my identity, and that identity will lead me to rest of the things I wanted in life. So, guys, focus on your work. You can work in any company, any areas. You can work as an individual self-employed person, or you work as a businessman or investor. All of us has to work, and it is only that man, method, material. These three things are very important. Man is nothing but you. You is nothing but your self identity and your confidence in face. And the biggest asset you have is your mind. Keep your mind in good control. Even if you lose everything, you can regain everything back. So when I did a lot of transitions between my job to an employment and coming back from Dubai to India, there has been days that my complete thing has gone to zero, and then from there you've gone. As I told you, there was initial years there was loss. The loss is a strength, and the strength will give you to attain more and make many professional mentors. So I in fact, like I got in touch with Srikanth because of one of my best mentors, Krishna Kumar KK. Thank you very much, and you have always been supportive. And also, I have to thank a lot of my client friends who have been my strength and who always gave me the guidance and help to keep me moving forward. As any human being, you also have low times, but your good friends and good mentors will take you to the next level, Srinath. I have a strong belief that where there is a will, there is a way. And again, I repeat, your work is your identity. Respect your work, and the work will bring respect to you. Srinath.
That was really interesting. In fact, it was a fantastic understanding your life story and the insight that you've given into all of us. It was really exciting to talk to you. So, team, I'm sure all of you loved it too. So, before we get to the end, the last question, team, if you have any questions for Pro Dhananjayan, you could email it to this email ID. We have shortage of time. We will not be able to do it live. So I'll just put on this email ID on screen. So you could just email to info@autoretailpro.com. So team, we go to the last question to Pro Dhananjayan. So, Pro Dhananjayan, you've been traveling across the globe, and of course, you've seen the auto retail sector right now in India as well as Dubai. So, presently you're in Dubai as well, and you've seen the live situation in the retail sector there also. So, what is your tip to people in the dealership to work on themselves or work on improving the business in this present situation?
So, if you look at from the numbers and things, there is a positive news in India, and also with respect to Middle East, the market is opening. There are challenges with respect to the sales. The sales is not as expected. See, we always need always 10% growth, 5% growth, 15% growth, 20% growth. That is the time we'll be happy. So on a sales front, it would be a little bit challenging. But however, people are gone for a contactless service, contactless communication, contactless, sales process. While this is all is just a temporary phase during the COVID time, still the personal touch and personal communication would become the major driver. So answering your question, maybe it may take another 2 quarters to see the comeback very strongly, but it will come back very strongly. So we need to really see how this COVID situation in India really transforms, because that would also make an impact on how the whole thing. But many experts, kind of projects that there will be a big growth in the used car and the new car as well, because people will now move on from kind of a public transport towards a personal transportation sector. And the numbers of Hero, TVS, and all are also showing some positive news. And internationally, here the business is open, and then people are also moving on. After sales business would continue, because most of the dealerships, both in India and here, have almost reached 70% of their load what they used to give. I mean, they used to get. The kind of spend will not be the same like before, but eventually mobility is a need, mobility is a luxury, mobility is can't be avoided. So surely the after sales business would really grow in some time. For the message to all the people in the market is, as I told you in the beginning, put your efforts into a new learning, maybe a new tool, new topic which you have not worked on. Try something new. If you are able to sell things. So that's what I said. We are bringing a new tool called. I can declare it now called Seed now. So this is called a personalized video communication tool. So we are the reseller partner for India and Middle East, and this would bring a revolution in the sales and after sales business. So that's something I would say. The, the previous trends of sales process or an after sales process will move more into a digitalized communication process because during this COVID times people have also experienced. And the message for everyone on this session is please focus on your basics, improve your strengths, work on your strengths, develop some more learning habits on the topics that you're not good at. And today it's not only mechanical engineer or automobile engineer working for automobiles. It's an electronic engineer, IT engineer, because mechatronics is coming in a big way. So learning is the only tool I would say as a tool during COVID times, even post-COVID times. So that's the message for the market, and I'm sure the market will come back.
Thank you, Prasanna Jain. Thank you for taking the time to be here on Rev Up with AR Pro. Next week, we'll catch up again at 11 a.m. with a new guest. Until then, this is Srikanth Rajan signing off. Goodbye.